My name's Ryan Simpson. I'm a Regional Apprenticeship Manager for the Garden Centre Group. We're at Bridgemere Nursery. My role is to assess and mentor and guide the apprentices we've got in the company in their goal to become horticulturists and managers in the garden centres we own. Here at Bridgemere Nursery they grow a vast range of plants, all for sale to the public through our garden centres. And to be able to grow these plants well, you need to have a good understanding of the science behind it. For example, what compost do they need? Do they need acidic? Do they need alkaline? How much water they hold? Is it free draining? Those kind of things all work to help grow nice healthy plants that our customers would like to buy. This little plant here has been grown in a field, which means that it was grown in the ground. But what we need to do now is put it into a pot so we can sell it.
Yeah, these are root balls, so they've been grown in a field, an open field, for about 6 months, 12 months, and we're just going to encourage them to grow on a bit and then pot them up.
This is the compost we're using. It's nice and free, lots of air in there. The little beads that you can see in here, which is the fertiliser. Little slow release granules that when they get wet they start releasing little bits of nutrient that the plants can then take up and to grow. Behind me you can see all the plant labels we use here in the nursery. As you can see, there's lots of different varieties of plants here. Every plant variety needs a different label, so we know and the customers know what the plant is, how to grow it and what conditions it needs. This has also got the wood chips on, which allows weeds to be suppressed so they don't grow in there. Lavenders, being Mediterranean plants, they like really free draining soil, so it means that the water runs away really quickly. It doesn't hold as much as some other varieties of compost, which means that it mimics more closely their natural habitat in really well drained soils. Okay, now we're in the retail part of Bridgemere Nursery and Garden World, where the customers can come and shop. As you can see, the plants around here are looking very nice. After we've spent all the time in the nursery using the right compost, water, temperature, feed, getting it all right, we end up with plants looking like this, which the customers will want to buy. Here we've got hundreds of different plants. All of them require a compost because they're in pots. Some of them, not all of them, will have peat in that compost. Well, the issue with peat is that it's mined from natural areas around the country and the world, and these areas are becoming more and more destroyed and reduced. A peat bog takes hundreds, if not thousands of years to produce peat, and if we come in and take it out in a couple of days, weeks, years, then we don't have it left, and it takes hundreds of years to get it back again. What we can do is use different materials other than peat in our composts. That can be composts of plant material, it can be coir, which comes from palms, it can be pine bark. There are a few other options, but they're the main ones. And by bringing them together in a mix, you can form a compost which is as good, if not better, than peat-based compost. It has the right air in the compost, which means the roots can breathe. There's enough little pockets in there for the water to be held in the compost, and also it gives the chance of the nutrients to be held in the compost as well. And by having all these elements in the compost, it means the plants have the perfect environment to grow in. This is in a little plug of coir, which gives the plant the ideal start. If I take it out of the little packet here, you can see that it's almost spongy, which means that the compost stays intact, which means when the customer takes it out, it doesn't fall out everywhere. There are lots of different types of compost you can buy, especially formulated for different types of plants. For example, we've got multi-purpose composts. They're good for general plants, so most plants you grow, this will be okay for. One specialised compost is ericaceous compost. Ericaceous compost and ericaceous plants are plants that like acidic soils. Something like rhododendrons, camellias, blueberries, those type of things, all like an acidic soil. Another thing, when you're potting up plants, you may find that you want to add more air into the compost. By doing that, you can add potting grit, which is pretty much just rocks broken up very small, so it is grit. This can be used for things like cactus. This is a multi-purpose compost that is peat-free, so it doesn't have any peat products at all in it, 100% peat-free. This is brilliant for multi-purpose. Most plants will grow really well in this. It doesn't have peat in it, so it removes any environmental impact you will have by growing plants in a compost, so this is really good stuff to use.